Welcome back to the channel. So as you can probably tell, I've got a brand new car, a brand new release. This is the 2022 G42 M240i in Thundernight Mettalic. So that's the purple paint, which I think looks freaking gorgeous. And we'll try and do as much as we can, walking around and showing you all the new details on this brand new release, which won't be available for sale until November 20th. So they just started arriving at dealerships. This is our first one coming in. We got more on the way, which I don't think will be here in time for the launch. So this will be the only one we have at launch. But let's go over all the changes. So this car, I think, is quite long. So I think I couldn't park it next to the M2 that we had on the service roof because that one moved. But it's significantly larger than that. It's parked next to a 3 Series. Visually, it looks roughly the same. I think it's obviously going to be a little bit shorter. But let's go about looking about the front end here. So I guess maybe one of the big changes is now the sort of like the double halo lights are now gone. So according to the designers, if you can check the video out with BMW blog, they have a pretty in-depth walk around the car with the designer of the 2 Series. But you can see the kidney grills are stretched out, and the inspiration for the lights is the 2002. So basically just a single light now on each side. The nice little halo underline. I think it looks pretty good. Obviously it's going to be a lot different than before and something to get used to. So I think 2002 is probably one of the last ones, or maybe even the first portion of the E21 3 Series had that single light on each side. But aggressive for sure in the front. You can see all those openings for cooling, and you got these angular triangles going along on the side here for the side inlets. New look grille. It is again active as well, so these actually close up just like on, say, actually it's not like the Z4 or the M240i, because these ones open up sideways rather, and the other cars basically have a roller mechanism to let in air when an engine needs it. But very interesting, very elongated, so obviously not like the 4 Series. So what else? So you can see sort of this hood bulge here. Hopefully that's coming up on video. Now, if I recall, the designer said this was to help make the car look a little bit shorter than it actually is. I think it does a pretty good job in doing that, especially from inside when looking out the hood. You just see that bulge like you would on the E90 M3. We've also got the cooling and high performance tire package. So I believe they're either 892Ms or 893Ms. I'll put a little description below here to correct that. So this gets you the Pilot Sport 4S tires, as you can see here. At the time of ordering, the red calipers were not available. They are now. So this is one of the first cars ordered, and obviously here right now. So blue calipers are staying on this. So with the cooling high performance tire package, you do get increased oil cooler size, or maybe it's an additional oil cooler, and you also get slightly bigger brakes. So the rotors are bigger, and I think the calipers are slightly larger as well. But good looking design. Let's step back. So you can see the side skirts are basically reminiscent of the brand new M3 M4. They are black. Makes it look lower than the car actually is. It's a good effect, so I wonder what the M Performance parts would look like. If they're going to be exactly like the M3 M4 or not. So what we have size-wise, looks like 255 19s in the rear. We'll come around the other side and get the front size. Let's see, look at terms of sculpting. You can see there is a little bit of fender flare front and rear. Obviously not going to be probably as dramatic as the upcoming M2. You see the shoulder line is raised too. I think the other big difference here, big change really, are the door handles. You see they're flush with the body, and a different mechanism to open that you're probably used to, so pulling up, then locking with the comfort access, touching those ridges, unlocking, obviously opening the handle. All right, out back is probably maybe the sort of most controversial design that I've seen people complain about I think one thing you really can't see is how sculpted this rear end is from just pictures. Alright, so we'll start with the taillights. So it's sort of reminiscent of the new X3 taillights, but sort of a half Halo energy sword looks to them. But these aren't sort of flush against the bodywork. You can see they actually stick out a lot from the body. You can see this here. It's basically pushing all the way out from the body. Very sculpted look. Very sculpted rear end as well. Your badging, curiously in still cerium gray. So if you don't get the Shadowline extended package, you will have cerium gray for the grille as well as the mirror caps. Let's see, spoiler wise, I don't know if you guys can see this well. It does kick up a bit, sort of reminiscent of the M3 CSL, the E46 version. So those lines follow through everything. And you also see the shoulder line lining up well with the lights as well. It's a very interesting rear end. I think you probably want to look at this in person. I don't think video, and especially pictures, are going to really do it justice in how much work went into this sculpting of the rear end. You see all those lines work together really well. All right, we go around the dark side of the car. So you can really see it's more towards black, purple on this side in the shade, and not crazy bright purple. All right, front are, let's see if I can find the size here. That they are 245 19s. So 19-inch wheels all around, 245s in the front, 255s in the rear. That's close to the previous gen original M2 in terms of tire size. I think it was 245, 265 19s. But let's go take a look on the inside where lots of things have obviously changed. Let me show you how the door works. All right, so we went with Oyster Vernasca leather. Obviously other options you could choose from. I don't know if many of them really work well with purple. Obviously black would do really well. Ivory white, silverstone, something along those lines, but those aren't available. We'll talk about those things. So we've also got, obviously you can't do this now, but this is where the trim gets illuminated. So there's an option to have the M stripes illuminate within this door panel here. Unfortunately not available with the Oyster Vernasca leather. We have some more cars coming in that will have that. We'll show you when that comes in. So also available, Harman Kardon sound system on this car. So seats, they look, to me, very similar to the 3 Series standard seats or sport seats. But no, not bad. All right, we'll take a look. Let's get a step inside here. All right, so obviously big changes from the last generation. So you've got Live Cockpit Pro now available, so new digital instrument panel display. We've also got, for the first time ever, heads-up display. It's about time. Should have been on the original 2 Series, or at least even the M2. So this one's got active cruise control, or adaptive cruise control, distance control if you will. That's all you get. There is no driver assistance professional package on the 2 Series. But very reminiscent, I think, of the 3 Series. If you set the 3 Series, it's basically the same interior and design cues. It is much better than previous version of the 2 Series. You got the trim here in high gloss black, so obviously if you don't like fingerprints, this is going to be a danger zone here. I believe the aluminum Tetragon, I think, trim is also available. Let's talk pricing and options on this vehicle. So the M240 starts at just under $49,000. The paint, the fantastic Thundernight, and really well named paint, is $550. You've got the Oyster Vernasca leather, another $1,450. Shadowline package, $400, and get you the Shadowline lights as well. Parking assistance package is available, $700. Get you the 3D remote view as well as the surround cameras, all the top-down views, parking assistant, etc. All good stuff. premium package adds another $27.50. You get those adaptive full LED lights. So I'm wondering what the lights are going to look like on the 230 without the premium package. So I guess we'll find out. That cooling high performance tire package that we talked about, another $2,400. It does get you the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Perfect. So this is somewhat unique to this M240i. So we've got the Sirius XM and HD radio have been deleted from this build, so that's a credit of $350. Now, if you look at the build sheet within BMW system, it does have the satellite radio prep, so I don't know if that can be added later or what the cause was for this being removed, but it's sort of random on the cars. This one doesn't have it. I think our next batch of 2 Series coming in will have the Sirius XM, so I'm wondering why that deleted from the top line, the M240. We got lumbar support, $350, but then you get $175 back because it's not on the passenger side. The active cruise control is an option, gets you that's going to cost you $750. Harman Kardon, $875. All told, we're looking at just about $59,000 for this brand new M240i, which I think looks really, really good. We'll check out the back seat in just a moment too. So iDrive 7, we should all be hopefully familiar with that already. So we won't go over any of those details on there right now. So if you've probably heard about the touchscreen delete, that does not currently affect the 2 Series Coupe. So you'll still have the touchscreen capability in this car, and you still have the backup assistant as well. You pull that up. You see your backup assistant is over there. And contrary to popular belief, you actually use your iDrive controller to select these things. So I don't know what the link was between touchscreen deletion and backup assistant removal, but you can still use the other functions here with your iDrive controller. All right, and I'll show you where. Go into media. You can see no XM radio up here, and of course also no HD radio. So a little bit disappointing, but if you're listening to other stuff, you got your CarPlay or you got Spotify or Pandora or something like that, you might have other options. Let's take a look at the back seat. The stitching there on the leather. The previous 2 Series was actually pretty roomy. All right. So that's where I sit. So a little bit of reduced leg room. So I don't think the previous version of the 2 Series or previous model was like this tight. Right, the other concern is reduced headroom in the back. Now in the M2 I could sit pretty comfortably in the back seat, so obviously we want to do that for a long haul, but my head wasn't hitting the roof like it is here. So obviously a different setup interior wise, and maybe that's to do with the sloping roof line of this car. But you can easily fit kids in the back without too much worry, so it's only really a 4-seater. All right, so let's get out of here. You can see also these details on the back here. Triangles like the front air dam show up again in here. So no power trunk. It's still, the trunk actually feels pretty heavy lifting it up, but not bad in terms of space in the trunk. I think eyeballing looks similar to the previous model M2 and 2 Series. So that trunk is actually pretty heavy to my feel. I know the original M2 was a little bit lighter in terms of the trunk. But let's see, what else can we do? Let's let you know, it's powered by the same B58 engine in the M340i and M440i. So you're getting 382 horsepower out of this. I think it's 369 pound-feet of torque. So same torque figure as the original M2. Powers up by 13 horsepower over that car. But overall, I think this is a pretty good design. I think one other thing we can talk about is the grills, the kidney grills. So you notice they do protrude a bit from the body of the car. I think is maybe unique to the car. Let's see, look at the side here. You can see sort of a bit of a shark nose going on here. Let me know what you think about this. See that nice hood bulge. Actually, why don't we take a look under the trunk and then we'll take another walk around the M240i, get you a view of the Thundernight Mettalic. So here's your B58 inline-6 twin scroll turbo engine powering the brand new M240i. See, you don't really see the bulge coming in here, so you got some sound deadening up here. But very tidy engine bay. Looks like not many strut bracing going along here either. But pretty good looking. Let's take one more look around Thundernight Mettalic in the sun. So again, you have to wait till around November 20th to pick one up from your local dealer. You can obviously buy it, but you probably won't be able to drive it home anytime soon. I think you can probably do it 3 days before. But that's it for a somewhat longer tour around this brand new designed car. G42 M240i. So I guess we'll be curious to see what the M2 version is going to look like, this new chassis and body style. Definitely look forward to that, and we'll see you at the next video.